I'd like to share a little bit more with you about limbic system retraining. Now, you may be thinking, what even is the limbic system? And so there's a whole blog post about that I encourage you to read through. But when we have chronic illness, the limbic system in our brain gets really impacted. I always think of it as almost like post-traumatic stress at the cellular level. We just get stuck in this rut. And there, with chronic illness, there can be fear, there can be this feeling like despair, like, am I ever going to get well? Am I going to ever know what's causing this? Am I ever going to sleep through the night without experiencing pain? That was kind of my trigger in 2001 when I first got sick. I would wake up with debilitating, excruciating pain each night. And I'm so grateful to have found functional medicine. It was really such a huge catalyst in my healing journey. But back in the early 2000s, functional medicine didn't include limbic system retraining, and it didn't focus as much, at least from my experience, on how critically important it is to calm our central nervous system, to create a wellness mindset, to optimize our response to stress. And so I was so grateful in, it's been around 2014 that I found out about dynamic neural retraining system. And I looked into it. I'm going to share a screen. And this is the website. And what I did is I went through and I watched the success stories. I propped up my iPad, and over the course of a week, while I washed dishes and put dishes away, I watched the different success stories. Now, back then, there was just a couple pages of success stories. Now it looks like there's over 11 pages or around 11 pages. So, what you could do is just kind of look through and say, okay, what resonates with me? Is it post-COVID? Is it Lyme disease? You can look through and see what these different people experienced and then let them share their healing journey. Now, I feel incredibly blessed because when I did the DNRS program, I got to do it in person. And there were 20 of us there, and it was just so profound to connect with people, to see people's healing over the 5-day event. Now it's all an online program. And I think that there is, not sure if it's like a monthly or a yearly, or you purchase the whole program. And it makes me sad that there's no longer the in-person, but you can still do this. Just know that when you're doing the program, there's going to be cheesy, corny aspects to it. This is all stuff we should have learned when we were young and in early elementary school. Most of us didn't get those tools. So there's aspects of it that you kind of roll your eyes. Just roll your eyes and embrace it, because healing the brain can sometimes be not always this high-powered scientific information. Sometimes we just need to belly laugh. We need to dance around the house listening to music. But this is a really powerful program that was absolutely transformational for me personally. And my clients who have done it, it's been absolutely amazing to witness their journeys. There's been times when they show up to the next consult in a month or two, and I don't even recognize them. They look completely different. They're almost glowing. I had somebody who was working with me, and she said, Michelle, you don't understand. I cannot go gluten-free. And I had never had anyone tell me that. She's like, it's just not worth it for me. It's too much stress. I eat gluten every day. I love my sourdough. And I said, well, the only way I know that you could probably override that, because I had her test results in front of both of us. She knew that gluten was a huge component in why she wasn't feeling optimal. And so I said, you could do DNRS and see if you can override. There's an aspect of DNRS that's really profound for food sensitivities, but we know from the research that if you're sensitive to gluten, you've got to eliminate it completely. And at this point, there's no research that shows that you can safely add it back in. But she felt like eating gluten was so important for her, so she started DNRS. And I told her, if you're going to do this, you're going to have to at least check your wheat sumer in 6 months, and then maybe every 6 months or a year. So, sure enough, in 6 months, she did the wheat sumer. We met for a consult to review it, and it was dramatically improved. There was just like maybe one or two things that were out of range. And I said, wow, you went gluten free. And she said, no, I ate gluten every day, but I did DNRS. And so she used the power of her mind to override the sensitivity to gluten. She met with me once a year after that for at least 3 years, and she did DNRS every day. Now, it's typically a 6-month program, but for her, it was worth it to do DNRS daily to be able to eat gluten. Now, I'm not recommending eating gluten, but if for somebody that's their highest value, then this would be a way to override using the power of our mind to reset that gluten sensitivity. Now, I haven't met with her in a while, so I don't know if she's still doing DNRS so that she can eat gluten. But yeah, it's an interesting story. I have another client who 2 days into doing DNRS told me that for the past year, she hadn't been able to take a hot shower, a hot bath, or even wash dishes in hot water. If she touched hot water, it created this burning, crawling sensation under her skin that felt like torture. And she said she didn't want to tell anyone because she'd been chronically ill for a while, had undiagnosed Lyme disease for 7 years. And so she just felt uncomfortable talking about it with anyone. And 2 days in to doing DNRS, I still get kind of teary when I share this story because it was just so profound. It completely went away. And she said she had laid in a hot bath for an hour and it has not come back. So that was only 2 days into doing the program. And there's so many amazing stories like that. And I know people have spent this amount of money, sometimes on one supplement. So it's an investment. Mostly it's a time investment. It's a commitment, but it allows for exponential healing. And I often share with my clients, stress is going to be some aspect of your health issues. It could be 25%, it could be 90%. So if it's 90% of the equation and you work with a functional medicine practitioner who swoops in this other 10% and recommends lifestyle changes and supplement protocols, now we're at 100% stress. If we're not doing something to mitigate this 90%, we may never get traction. And that's where a program like Dynamic Neuro Retraining System can come into place to just allow for exponential healing. Now, after I did my program, I learned that there were a couple others, and I think these are newer on the scene. But GUPTA program is another program where your brain can heal your body. And I've heard amazing things about it. And I'm pretty sure there's a free trial. Yes, right here, this little turquoise button, and you can try it for free and see if it resonates with you. DNRS might have a free trial. Yes, they have a free trial also. Now there's a new program that's more all-inclusive, and it's called Primal Trust Academy. And this is a membership where you join and pay monthly. And it incorporates not only limbic system retraining, but also somatic exercises for self-healing chronic illness, nervous system regulation. So it's a much more comprehensive program. I recommend that you look into all of them. I also, in this resource that I created for you, there's others. There's Brain Tap, which is this great headset that has something that comes down over your eyes, and there's light therapy, and then there's different programs that you can listen to. There's neurolinguistic programming, which many of you might have heard about. That's something where you would need to have that in your area because it's something that you need to do in person. Safe and sound protocol is another aspect for, I mean, to heal, we need to feel safe in our body. And if our body's in fight, flight, or freeze, it's really hard to create an environment for our body to feel safe enough to heal. There's breathing exercises, neurofeedback, frequency specific microcurrent. Heart math is amazing. I don't feel like it's profound. There's lots of research backing it up, but I think that doing something where you're literally rewiring your brain is really, really profound. This is amazing for calming your central nervous system, making sure that you're in more of a state of rest and digest instead of fight, flight, or freeze. So I love heart math. That's something that you can look through. And binaural beats is really amazing. It's a meditation that you just listen to. So check out this resource. I think what is really important for you to do is look through and see what resonates with you. Download the free resources on each website. If here's free resources here. If there's a trial, give it a try and really commit to it because healing your limbic system is one of the most profound things that you can do to heal your whole body. Wishing you all the best in your healing journey.